It is Tuesday, February 11th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody had a good Monday. I wanted to mention this yesterday, but I forgot. I had some issues with the video, and I'm surprised nobody called me out on this, but had some issues with the video and the audio syncing up. I think I have that figured out now. So if you notice any other issues with the show, the podcast, or the video stuff, let me know, and I'll get that fixed, because I know that stuff drives me crazy. I wanted to take a look at a couple of the drivers that have made the move from dirt to asphalt competition this year. New Smyrna Speedway is kicked up right now, going on around Speed Weeks down in Daytona, and Gio Scelzi and Holly Holland are in action down there. The ARCA East race was last night. But Gio Scelzi ran a late model race over the weekend. He picked up a win at New Smyrna in a pro late model. So great to see him having early success. He is running the full ARCA West schedule for Bill McAnally in that famous 16 car. Holly Holland also running that. Gio finished 13 last night in his ARCA debut. Holly Holland was behind him. She was in 15th. Crazy race last night. I looked at some of the highlights and saw some of the stuff on Twitter. So a lot of crashing up front. It was good to see Gio just bring that car home in one piece, which is what you want for a young driver early on in his career. So looking forward to see more of what Gio can do in the stock car world. Taking a look at the closing out night of DIRTRACKR Nationals for the UMP Modifieds. $5,000 on the line, Big Gator Championship. All of the big guys, obviously, that have been there all week involved in this one. They draw for starting positions, which kind of changes the game a little bit. Nick Hoffman's been super fast all week. He drew the 10 pill, so he had a long way to come from the back. Early on, David Stremme, Kyle Strickler caught up in a wreck. Stremme was okay. He just had a little bit of body damage. Strickler's nose was pushed up underneath it. He ended up having to pit to try to do something about it. Basically took him out of the race. Jason Hughes, Spencer Hughes, they ran up front for most of the day. A lot of drama late between those two. The two swapped the lead with only a few laps left. Jason led most of the way, but Spencer caught him in traffic, took the lead. Spencer then jumped the cushion and let Jason get back by, but a late caution on the last lap. Literally, Jason was coming to the checkered as the caution flag waved. Basically killed his momentum. Spencer was able to roll by him on the top, coming to the white flag on the subsequent restart, and drove away to win. Spencer was so excited about winning, he forgot to roll over the scales after the race. He just came straight to victory lane. So they sat there for a minute and tried to figure out what the heck was going on, and then they had to call him back to the scales to make sure he was legal, which was pretty funny. But good for him. He won Big Gator Trophy and $5,000. Nick Hoffman, he ended up finishing 5th, even with a little bit of nose damage he had from late in the race. But he clinched the week-long points for the UMP Modifieds. Again, with the week he had, not surprising to see that happen. Moving over to the DIRTRACKR late models, I wanted to show something really quick. If you're watching this on video, I'm going to pull an image up really fast. Let's see if this works. So Tyler Bruning last night, he crashes on the front stretch, has quite a bit of damage to his late model. They used 2 tow trucks to pull his wrecked race car out of the field. They got one hooked up to the back. They got one hooked up to the front. They kind of cradled it. One tow truck driver driving forward, one tow truck driver driving backwards, and they drove it all the way around 1 and 2 and out the backstretch. So shout out to the Volusia crew. Haven't seen that one before. Pretty neat and pretty good coordination between those guys to get that car towed out and get that done. Let me get back to my notes here. Brandon Shepard dominated the feature. He started outside pole but took the lead immediately, continuing his momentum. He was, fast all race long. Nobody really had anything for him. There was good racing behind him, though. Chris Madden, Brian Shirley, Tim McCready, Mark Whitener, a couple other guys really kind of battled it out over those laps, for that second and third on spots on back. Brian Shirley did end up second with Dennis Erb third, Tim McCready fourth, Mark Whitener in fifth. The DIRTRACKR late models are back in action on Tuesday night. Great to see Volusia done by 10 o'clock. 2 full shows, late models and modifieds, done by 10 p.m. I know Tom Deary and the folks at Volusia are super happy about getting that done. If you can hear behind me, if there's a little bit of noise, it's pouring at my house right now. So if that's a little bit loud behind me, that's why. The All-Stars were at East Bay Raceway Park last night. Very different watching the late models get around that racetrack versus the sprint cars. It seems like the late models really, they're able to get around there. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a very different race to watch with the late models there versus the sprint cars. The sprint cars really feels like a much smaller racetrack for the sprint cars, and I don't know if it's just the speed difference or what it is, but those guys really had to kind of hustle their cars around. But Aaron Reitzel, man, he was fast all night long. Didn't start up front, started sixth in that feature, and was literally leading by lap 2. He just banged the boards right around the top, just drove around everybody, made a couple of crazy moves, and drove up to the front and basically rolled away to win. Nobody really had anything for him. There was really good racing behind him. I said that same thing about the DIRTRACKR late model feature, but he was definitely the fastest car all night. He picked up his 27th All-Star win over Ian Madsen, Corey Elias, and Tony Stewart and Chad Kemenaugh. They were on a one-division program, just sprint cars, but they were also done before 9:30. So great to see series and tracks getting some programs done without going super late into the night. Pretty cool to see that. The All-Stars are back in action Tuesday night at East Bay again. So both shows, Volusia still going on, East Bay still going on, so make sure you check those out. In kind of keeping up with the theme that I started last week, I had started pulling up some numbers about the importance of qualifying well in the Outlaw format. And another thing that I like is that I'm interested in is kind of plus minus, that kind of where you start and where you finish in certain races. And kind of how that affects your night. Obviously, we saw that Sweet was, really good at qualifying well and starting up front, and obviously that led to a lot of his success over the course of the season. But I wanted to take a look at plus minus and just see which guys were really good in that. And I know Brent Marks, he was the season-long hard charger, but actually in looking at the numbers, the guy with the most feature passes all season was Logan Schuchart. He actually passed 221 cars, and it's probably, it's more or less than that, but that's basically the difference between his starting position and his finishing position in a feature. So Logan Schuchart, number 1 last year, in plus minus 221 positions different from the start of the race to the end of the race. Brent Marks was second. Even though he won the hard charger, he had 182. Sheldon Haudenschild, 150 positions different. Shots, obviously not surprising to see him here. I mentioned that on the show last week is he actually had a little bit less or a little bit worse qualifying and starting positions than Sweet did, but he tried to make up for it by passing a lot more cars in the feature, so not surprising to see him up here. And then fifth on that list is Shane Stewart. He had 107 positions different from start to finish. I also looked at the heat races and the dash. In heat races, Donnie Schatz, your kind of the top of that list of plus minus. He advanced 44 positions in heat races over the course of the season. Brent Marks, again, right back up there, 36 positions gained. Sweet, 32 positions gained. He was third. Carson Macedo fourth, 29 positions gained. And then Logan Schuchart, 23 positions gained. Obviously, that heat race, any advancements in that heat race are key, because that could put you in a dash. That could put you in a better spot in the feature, if you're outside the dash, or it could be the difference between you transferring from, or being in the feature versus being in a B or a C main over the course of the night. So obviously moving up in that heat race is important. And then in the dash itself, that dash, sets that front part of the field. So any positions you can gain, and with the dash being set by a draw, obviously you want to grab any positions you can in that dash to try to set you up for a better feature. Donnie Schatz advancing most positions in the dash. He grabbed 23 spots over the course of the season in the dash to help his case. Darren Pittman was second. He grabbed 22 spots. Carson Macedo was third on this list with 20 spots. And then Shane Stewart grabbed 9 spots, and Logan Schuchart grabbed 7 spots. Logan appears 3 times, or actually on all 3 lists here, feature, heat race, and dash. So if those guys can find a way to qualify a little bit better, we saw it this weekend at Volusia, where he ran up front quite a bit, was able to win a feature, finished second in another one. I think finished 5th in the other Outlaw feature. That's probably why he's trailing Brad Sweet by only 2 points right now. But if they can keep that up over the course of the season, plus with the, the way he's able to pass cars, might be a very, very strong year for Logan Schuchart here. So some cool numbers to take a look at. I just wanted to share those a little bit. And I was working last night actually on trying to get some of the year stuff done. It's going to be a little more complicated than I had thought, so I'm going to have to rework some of my pages a little bit to get the year stuff to work out how I want. Let's get a look at the daily pay-per-view schedule. Like I said before, East Bay Raceway Park for the Winter Nationals going on for the All-Star Circuit of Champions. That is available on Flow Racing tonight, and Volusia Speedway Park, DIRTCar Nationals, night 2 of the late models. That's on Dirt Vision. Also tonight, Super DIRTCar Series Big Block Modifieds. They move in to start their week of racing at DIRTCar Nationals. So a little bit different look to that event here now going on. Tonight is the last DIRTCar late model event, and then World of Outlaws late models take over tomorrow night and go through the weekend. So still lots of racing to come all week long from Volusia, so make sure you're checking that out. And then we'll talk about this a little bit later on the week too, but the USAC National Sprint Cars will get in action over the weekend also. Wanted to mention I'm doing a show today, doing a show tomorrow, and one Thursday. I will not do a show Friday as I will be in Daytona for my other work. So if you are expecting a show Friday, I apologize for that. We will be back on Monday following Daytona with a new episode of DIRTRACKR Daily. Again, short and sweet today. I don't want to take up a ton of your guys' time in the morning. If you're getting a chance to maybe listen to this while you're riding to work, I don't want to make these 30, 40, 50 minutes, something like that. Some of the other longer shows. I want to keep it short and sweet. Give you your kind of nuggets of information for the day, get you caught up on the action for the night before, and get you on your way. So hopefully everybody has a good Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe. Leave me a review. That's definitely helps in letting other people find out about the show. Tell your friends. If you'd like to watch the show, you can do that on YouTube and on Facebook. I don't have the YouTube URL yet, so as soon as I have a cool YouTube URL, hopefully I'll get youtube.com/DIRTRACKR. I don't have that right now. The quickest way to find that is just to go to DIRTRACKR.com/daily and click the YouTube link there. But you can find me Facebook.com/DIRTRACKR, Twitter.com/DIRTRACKR, besides DIRTRACKR.com, DIRTRACKR.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Justin_Fiedler, and check out that DIRTRACKR Weekly newsletter. Sign up. That is on the site right now if you would like to get an email from me. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow on DIRTRACKR Daily.